Hi, y'all. I'm Julie. I'm a trauma-informed adoptee coach and somatic healing guide. After overcoming deep abandonment wounds, I now help adult adoptees move from feeling lost and disconnected to experiencing profound self-belonging. I know what it is like to carry the weight of abandonment, to feel stuck in patterns of longing, adapting, and searching for belonging. To have tried every healing modality available and come up empty. My own healing has taught me this. The answers aren't out there, they're buried within me, and I'm here to guide you home to yourself. The Resilience Project podcast brings voice, visibility, and validation to the parts of adoption society rarely names, but all of us feel. Through an trauma-informed somatic lens, I explore the lived experiences of the entire adoption constellation with a tender emphasis on the adoptee experience. This podcast goes beyond storytelling into soul-telling. It offers embodied insight, compassionate education, and a path towards awareness, hope, and strength. Each episode invites listeners to understand adoption more deeply, not just with the mind, but with the nervous system, and to reconnect with the truth, identity, and belonging that were always yours to come home to. Welcome. What I want y'all to know is shame. How we can view that is I am bad. Shame literally is us saying I'm bad. It is a state of being. On the other hand, is I have done something bad. It is more a state of doing. That's how I like to look at it. It's more made a mistake. It's not that my being is bad. There's a difference, and I think it's an important distinction for us to make. Hi, everybody, and welcome back to the Resilience Project. It is Thanksgiving today, the day this is being released. I recorded this 2 weeks prior, but happy Thanksgiving, y'all. It's so great to be with you. I wanted to dive right on into what our topic is today. This is one that everybody deals with. Adoptees deal with it in a little bit different way, and I'm going to talk through some of that today. But the topic today is shame and guilt. We're going to focus mostly on shame, but we're going to use guilt as something that will help us see the difference between the two. So you'll see what I mean in just a minute. I'm going to have some visuals today, so I'm going to do my best to share my screen so that y'all can see them on YouTube if you would like to. I am a visual learner, and so it really helps me to be able to see these things. So first of all, I want to just kind of give you a basic definition. And a lot of the things that I'm going to be talking about today come directly from a lot of the interactions and reading. And I haven't had any interactions with Brene Brown. I don't know what I'm saying, but I call her my spirit animal, honestly, y'all, and my best friend, even though she's really not. But I would love for her to be someday because she helped me so much be able to learn how to come out of those shame spirals that we all experience. And so a lot of this information comes from her. And if it's attributed to something else, I will let you know as well. But this is what has helped me be able to reduce shame and recognize it and deal with it. And I'm going to offer you some tools that will help you do that. So first, what I want y'all to know is shame. How we can view that is I am bad. Shame literally is us saying, I am bad. It is a state of being. Guilt, on the other hand, is I have done something bad. So it is more a state of doing. That's how I like to look at it. It's more, I've made a mistake. It's not that my being in and of itself is bad. There's a difference. And I think that's important. It's an important distinction for us to make. There is an acrostic that I'd like to share with y'all that has really, really helped me. And it's actually comes from another podcaster friend of mine named Kyle Spears. And it is, trying to find it. Here we go. I'm going to share this with y'all. It is should have already mastered everything. That, to me, helps me understand shame very, very well, that I should have already mastered everything. What you will notice with shame is that this word should shows up all the time. You begin shoulding yourself, is what you'll hear people saying. To me, acrostics really help me, and I have learned to use them in a way that helps my healing, and this is one of the ways that has done that for me. So you can see here in this acrostic on the screen if you're watching on YouTube, but I will obviously describe it for those that are listening, that the way we can understand shame is from this acrostic of should. So not only do we have the should have already mastered everything, the should starts with the letter S. The first part of the acrostic for should is shame. Then the H of the should is it hinders. It hinders the things that we try to do in our life. It keeps us from doing things, but it hinders openness. That's the O. And it hinders understanding. That's the U. It hinders love. That's the L. And it hinders our development. Shame keeps us stuck. So if you say this all in one sentence, it's shame hinders openness, understanding, love, and development. That really, really has helped me when I notice shame is active. And on the next slide, what you guys are going to see, if you're watching on YouTube, are these subconscious limiting beliefs that really let us know that shame is active. They're I am statements. And anytime we are stating, remember what I said, it's that state of being. Anytime we are stating something like, I am unlovable, or I am not enough, or I am too much, or I wasn't good enough to keep, or I am defective, I'm incomplete or missing something, I am a burden, I'm a nuisance. If they really knew me, they wouldn't want me. I don't want to be present in the world in a way that would inconvenience somebody. I mean, there are so many different beliefs that we have that fuel shame, that fuel us believing that we are this kind of person. And the real key to being able to overcome this kind of shame that can be so pervasive for us is by shame resilience. And this is one of the things that Brene Brown taught me a long time ago from her book, The Gifts of Imperfection. So if y'all haven't read that book, I highly recommend that you do. It was revolutionary for me. I'm going to try and present so you can see this more full screen. Yeah. So here are the 4 elements of shame resilience. These have helped me immensely, recognizing and naming and understanding our triggers. Okay. So I would add here, where does that trigger show up in your body? Do you collapse? Meaning, when you feel shame, do you immediately curl into yourself? Or do you immediately start crying? Do you get a dry mouth? Do you start sweating? Does your heart start beating faster? Some people want to fight, want to like go at you when they experience shame. It's important to recognize, name, and understand once shame is triggered, what happens in our body. The second thing is to identify the external factors that actually led to those feelings. So what actually happened? Write it down. Connecting with others is the third thing in order to receive and offer empathy. And I would add learning that you can offer empathy to yourself in these situations. This is where self-compassion comes in. The fourth thing is to speak about your feelings of shame with others. Okay. The disclaimer here, this is really important. Our stories are not meant for everyone. So hearing them is a privilege. Ask yourself, who has actually earned the right to hear my story? Brene refers to this process as developing critical awareness, which is what I'm going to show you here. There are 4 questions that you can ask yourself when dealing with shame that align with increasing this awareness. and the four elements that we just looked at. The first question is, who do you become when you are backed into a shame corner? She calls it, do you get the crying hides or do you get the mean nasties? So basically, kind of what I talked about. Do you collapse? Do you shut down? Do you not want to talk to anybody? What happens? Who do you become? Do you want to lash out? Do you yell? What happens? It's important for us to know these things. Number two is, how do you protect yourself? Kind of what I just said. Do you not communicate? Do you hide? Do you back yourself into a corner, actually, physically, maybe emotionally? What do you do to protect yourself and how? Three is, who do you call to work through the mean nasties or the crying hides or the people pleasing for us adoptees? And there are other people that struggle with people pleasing. We're just really stinking good at it. So who do you call? So if you think of the four elements, one of those elements was calling someone you trust. So it's important to think about, who are those people that have earned that right? And number four, what is the most courageous thing you could do for yourself when you feel shame? This could be multiple things, actually. It could be showing yourself compassion and empathy. It could be reaching out to somebody that you trust, especially if you've never done so. One of the things that I really appreciate about Brene and her work, I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing. For those of you that are on YouTube, you'll notice that. For those of you that are not, ignore. But one of the things I really appreciate about her and how she goes about teaching about shame resilience is that she talks about vulnerability as a part of this. She has a whole series on this, the power of vulnerability, and you can find it on pretty much any platform, and I highly recommend it. But really, the basics are vulnerability breeds connection. And in order for us to be able to connect, we have to risk being vulnerable. And it's interesting because a lot of times what you'll find, especially as an adoptee myself, this happened to me last week when I was on the masterclass with my friend Becky. And I was sharing parts of my story, and I got really, really emotional after watching what is called the still face experiment. I don't know if any of y'all have ever seen this. I will probably end up talking about this on my podcast at some point, but it is really impacting for somebody who didn't have this when they were younger. Basically, what it has to do with is that the mother is interacting with the baby and the baby is reaching out to her. And then all of a sudden she goes still faced. She doesn't have any sort of interaction and the baby loses it, starts trying to scream and get her connection. I mean, it's heartbreaking. So as we were on this, what I noticed was I was getting really emotional and I was beginning to feel those feelings of, oh my gosh, this is vulnerable. People are seeing me cry. But you know, what I ended up doing was I realized this is good. People can see that we can be triggered and we can move through that trigger when we're witnessed. And that's what happened. It passed fairly quickly because I knew I would receive empathy in this space of people that a lot of them I knew, some of them I didn't, but there was a real beauty in being able to have that space held for me as I felt those waves of emotion, who I became when I was backed into that shame corner. What I do is I cry. I am the cry and hide kind of person. I felt myself wanting to do that. And to protect myself, normally what I would have done was shut down, turned off the camera. But as I have grown, I have learned that my nervous system can hold space for this, that what I was being triggered to was not something that was present. It was something that was past. And I could hold space for my baby self and love her there. So that was really, really powerful for me. I wanted to share that with you because I really feel like this information right here, this critical awareness when it comes to the four elements that I just talked about and these four questions that you can ask yourself, are really, really practical, as are the different acrostics that I would be happy to share the PDFs that I have of these actually in the show notes. And I will do that so that they're available to you, so that y'all can actually experience these and use these as practical tools when you're trying to develop this shame resilience. So that's what I wanted to talk about today. this is something that we all deal with, and it's something that we all can actually overcome and become resilient in. And, like the name of the podcast, the Resilience Project, that's kind of what we're doing, is we're allowing ourselves to be that project in a good way, not in a bad way, where we're curious and we're observing the things that are going on with us and how our bodies react to the different things that we experience. And I can tell you, this was one of the biggest shifts for me, was being able to understand all of this. Increasing this awareness helped me move forward more than anything else. So I look forward to hearing from y'all about this episode and the things that landed for you. And if you want further help, what I would love is if you dropped the word shame in any of my DMs on any of my socials, because I love hearing from y'all, and I'll send you a free resource that will really help you with this. And I look forward to talking to you guys next week, and I hope you have a fabulous Thanksgiving and a great weekend. Talk to you soon. Peace.